On the outskirts of a small town, nestled deep within a forest, stood an old, abandoned house. The townsfolk whispered stories about it, how it had once belonged to a family that vanished without a trace, leaving behind only echoes of laughter and the faint scent of decay. One rainy evening, a group of friends dared each other to spend the night in the house. Armed with flashlights and bravado, they made their way through the overgrown path, the trees leaning in as if to eavesdrop on their laughter. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the weight of forgotten memories. The walls were lined with faded portraits, eyes following them as they moved. "It's just a trick of the light," said Emma, trying to shake off the chill creeping up her spine. As darkness enveloped the house, they gathered in the living room, sharing ghost stories to lighten the mood. But then, a sudden crash echoed from the kitchen. Heartbeats quickened. "It's just the wind," Jake insisted, though he was the first to grab a flashlight and investigate. When he returned, his face was pale. "You guys, there's something in there." The friends hesitated, but curiosity won out. They followed Jake into the kitchen, the beam of the flashlight trembling in his hand. The room was empty, save for a table where the family's old dishes lay stacked, untouched by time. But on the floor, a dark stain caught their attention, a fresh, red mark that hadn't been there before. Panic began to set in as they realized the stories were more than just tales. Suddenly, the front door slammed shut, locking them inside. "That's not funny," Emma shouted, but her laughter was shaky. A low creaking sound echoed from upstairs, like footsteps slowly descending. The friends exchanged terrified glances, the weight of dread settling over them. "We need to leave," whispered Sarah, her voice barely audible. They rushed toward the door, but it wouldn't budge. The windows were sealed tight, and the only way out was to face whatever was lurking above. The creaking grew louder, and a chill filled the air as they heard a soft, childlike giggle. Against their better judgment, they moved toward the staircase, each step feeling heavier than the last. The upstairs hallway was dark, lined with doors that seemed to close in on them. The giggling echoed, bouncing off the walls, leading them to a door at the end of the hall. They opened it slowly, revealing a dusty nursery. An old crib stood in the center, its sheets stained and torn. The giggling stopped, replaced by an eerie silence. On the wall, scrawled in what looked like dried blood, were the words, "Come play with us." Just as they were about to retreat, the air turned frigid. A soft, ghostly figure appeared by the crib, a girl with hollow eyes and a smile that sent chills down their spines. "Why did you leave us?" she whispered, her voice echoing through the room. Terrified, the friends stumbled backward, and the door slammed shut behind them. They were trapped, surrounded by the spirits of the family that once lived there, unable to escape the past. The giggles returned, now sinister, as the shadows closed in. And in that house, on that stormy night, the laughter of the living was silenced forever, leaving only whispers and echoes in the dark. The next morning, the townsfolk found the house as it always had been, abandoned, with only the faintest hint of new blood on the floor. But the friends? They were never seen again.